What's up everyone, PureChaosX here with finally part 2 to the FTX Tracer parts and upgrades video. Yes, it's finally a part 2. It's taken a while. I was kind of deciding whether or not to even do this, if it was worth it, but I thought since the parts for the FTX Tracer are quite cheap, I figured why not? Why not? You know, it would be... it's something to do. I mean, I do have other cars that need more important upgrades than the FTX Tracer, but thought I'd get it out of the way. And yeah, for some strange reason, the FTX Tracer video has done quite well compared to all the others. So evidently, people like that. So yeah. Anyway, we'll start with something that's not FTX Tracer, but it is still FTX, and that's basically just a new body shell for the Carnage 2.0. Can't really get it in shot because it's quite big, but yeah, that's the new body shell for an FTX Carnage 2.0. Pretty cool truck, actually. I have to say, pretty cool truck. But is in dire need. What in the God's name? What on earth? Why is there? Is that an antenna? Wait, there's one on the front as well. Okay, I didn't actually spot those. They aren't on the original body shell. Okay. Sure. I didn't even notice them. What's the... Oh, that does not look very good. I might have to put a sticker over that, because that looks ugly. Well, there you go. A bit of a warning if you're after a new Carnage shell. I don't know if mine just got holes cut in them by mistake, but there you go. Be warned, if you buy one of these, you might get a third hole on the front and the back. That's bizarre. Okay. So yeah, but now onto the FTX Tracer. Unfortunately, the Tracer is on the shelf and I can't actually be bothered to get it, but I'm sure you all know what it looks like. First lot of parts. These aren't upgrades, these are parts. I've been waiting for Model Sport to get these in for so long, and as soon as they did, that's when I kind of bought them. So I bought some new wheels, but this time in red. Yes, I've been waiting for these ever since Model Sport said that they started to stock them. It's like, oh, I do like red. It's my second favorite color next to purple. If they do a purple one, wow. But yeah, I thought I'm gonna get some red wheels because I like them. They look nice. Put those there. Which, obviously, red body shell, which also looks really nice. I do like that. And you got stickers. It's kind of been a bit crumpled, but should be fine. But yeah, that looks nice. I do like that. I've been like for a couple of months after they listed these. Well, no, I noticed that they started selling red Tracers. I was like, oh, is there a red body shell and red wheels? But nothing. A couple of months later, they had these listed, but they were out of stock. Then as soon as they came in stock, that's when I snapped them up. So, yeah. It looks good. I do like that. I'll go with my my yellow and orange shells, which I obviously still haven't used yet. Another new, another new part. Again, not upgrades. Is I bought a new bumper just as a spare, because if I crash it, the front bumper is obviously going to take a lot of the beating. So I got a spare front bumper just in case. And a new battery, because the current one, I put an XT60 connector on it, which I shouldn't have done, because I've bought a new speed controller. Yeah. So yeah, I bought a new battery. Plus, it kind of, I'm not quite sure if I'm just imagining it, but it kind of smells like spicy apples or sweet apples, which, as far as I'm aware, in a LiPo is a bad thing. So it does have a bit of a sweet smell to it. Actually, I am going to get the Tracer. Hang on. Because I did do one little change to this in the meantime, take that off. This is why I added an XT60 connector to it. Is because I replaced the speed controller and receiver with my own, and this actually made it faster. It was actually able to wheelie from a standing start, which it couldn't do originally. So adding these has actually given it a bit more speed. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that LiPo has a very faint smell of a tangy apple or something like that. So yeah, but this is the kind of like the only upgrade I did to it, you know, recent months since I made the video. So yeah, but there, yeah, that's why I put the XT60 connector on it, and why I needed a new battery, because it has the wrong connector on it for the new speed controller, and the current one is starting to have a bit of a smell. But again, it could just be me, I'm not sure. So, but let's get on to the proper upgrades. Let's see. Well, this isn't an upgrade, this is a part. This is the servo saver, which on Model Sport was black. So I thought that, well, I'll have it black like everything else. And I think black plastic is a little bit stronger than white plastic. I think just the way the pigment is or something like that. Unfortunately, it's not black. So if you see a black picture of the servo saver for a Tracer, thinking that it's black, yeah, it might not be. So yeah, and also that screw might not actually fit into the servo that I bought. I bought a new servo as well, which I don't even know if it's going to fit. So that could be a waste of money. So yeah, that's yeah, it's not black like I thought it was going to be in the picture. But the proper upgrades supposedly are the brushless pinion. You can probably see where this is going. So I bought a brushless pinion. I'm not quite sure how that's different to the normal brushed pinion, but I'm guessing it's a bit more stronger, a bit more durable. Rear dog bones and metal drive cups for the wheels, which use proper hexes rather than rather than the screws. So I bought some metal parts, very nice. So that's for the rear, and for the front, the CV joints, which basically obviously incorporate the axle, or the drive shaft and the axle, whatever you want to call it, into one as well. So yeah, that's what they are. So yay! So some proper upgrades there for the wheels as well, the drivetrain. And a pinion for a brushless motor. A servo saver, which I thought was going to be black and isn't. And a Carnage body shell with one extra hole on the front and the rear for some insane reason. But the pièce de résistance, which I'm hoping to God will fit. I've measured it, and I've measured it, and I've measured it again, and it seems to fit. Based on the measurements. So on paper, it should fit. But I do have in here, I forgot to blur out my address. In here, I do have a new motor and speed controller and servo. And I haven't opened it yet. So I was going to do this like on camera kind of thing. Now I was going to get a hobby wing from Model Sport at the same time, but I do hope the servo is in there. Because there was no servo in the packaging. Let me just double check. Nope. Okay, well hopefully the servo is in this box. But yeah, I was going to get a hobby wing, but I thought, I'll get something different instead. It was a little bit cheaper, that's only because Model Sport obviously has that extra cost for putting on a different battery connector to the speed controller. Obviously I wanted a Dean's, which would have cost an extra £3.50, which would have made the hobby wing more expensive. So I kind of opted just for something a little different. And yeah, and I know that Surpass Hobby are quite good. Yeah, I've never had anything from them, but I do know they're supposed to be quite good. And Model Sport do stock surpass hobby equipment, so they can't be that bad. I just hope that everything is in here. Okay. Oh, well, there's the servo parts, which I don't need. And there is the servo. So yeah, as you can see, it's a tiny, dinky little thing. Which I mean, if it does fit, I'll have to cut these wings off, obviously. But I have my doubts as to whether or not that's gonna fit. Hang on, I'm trying to get it in the light, just to kind of see if it. Okay, wait. Okay. I mean, height-wise, it might fit. Well, not height, but as in from here to here, it might fit. But I can't quite tell from the other way. But yeah. But we'll see. It's a 17-gram servo, whatever that means, with torque focus. Hang on. That's the maximum torque. So, now, it was all gooey. So yeah, I have no idea if this is going to fit. The other problem is that this cable is a lot longer than this cable, which is obviously just short enough for it to go over there. So that could be a pain. So, but yeah, I bought it because it has the servo with it as well, for slightly more than the hobby wing. And then, oh, look at the tiny little motor. I've never seen a brushless motor this small before. It's so weeny. It's so tiny. That's not what she said though, don't worry. So yeah, look at that. Let's bring this back. That should go. I mean, the motor is a bit smaller lengthways, which is good, so it gives a bit more room. But I don't know if it's the same size. Diameter. This does look slightly smaller in diameter, if I'm being honest. But I'm hoping it will still fit. I'm also hoping that all the paperwork, all the documents that I saw that said that this is a 2mm shaft is correct, and that this is also a 2mm shaft. Which I'm obviously not going to get through this thing. But yeah, that does fit at least. Yeah. So I just thought I'd pop it through. Oh god, if some of these things don't go together, I'm going to be so upset, because I got nothing else to use this on. I got literally nothing else that this could be used on. And then we also have the wee little speed controller. Yeah. Boop, beep. So. And then some money. So pass hobby, 25 amps. The hobby wing was 30 amps. So hopefully that won't really make much of a difference. And hopefully it's actually, it looks slightly smaller than the Tamiya one. So that should fit quite nicely as well. And now we'll try and get this. Oh god, try and get this back in. Come on, get. And then we've got the other there. Get you in, because I have no idea how these went in before. And then you went in. I remember you went in like that. Come on, get there. Come on, get in. Get. And then those, something along those lines. Just get in there, yes, it's off. So yeah, there we go. So these are all of my new parts and upgrades. This is probably the most pointless one because it's not what I thought it was going to be. And I just hope that this does fit. I have seen some people in videos installing one of these into their Tracer. Actually, I think it is this one. It said, did it actually say what the size of the motor is? So 2435. It should hopefully fit. So yeah, but yeah, these are all of the new parts and upgrades. Yeah, I will eventually, hopefully there will be a part 3, and part 3 will basically be more metal parts of the spur gear, the outdrive cups, and the diff gears. So I'm actually going to try and sort of like make this an FTX Tracer brushless Pro Max, whatever you want to call it, and basically just put a load of upgrades on it. I don't know if I'm going to go for aluminium parts, like for the the A-arms and what that kind of thing. That might be in the future, but for the time being, I'm just going to try and stick to like metal gears and all that kind of thing. So part 3, hopefully there will be a part 3, and hopefully it won't take so long. It'll be metal gears, kind of all around basically, and yeah. So yeah, there we go. This will be all fun to fit, I'm sure, because this thing is not an easy thing to take apart and to get to certain bits. So yeah, because I think these outcups are held on by C-clips within the diff, so you have to obviously take the whole thing apart, get inside the diff, unclip it, so you can pull these out. I haven't bought these yet, but I will get the metal ones at some point. So at the moment I'm just replacing these. So that should add a little bit of strength, but obviously these being plastic, these could snap next, so yeah. And I don't know when I'm going to use the wheels or the body shell, because I've got new blue wheels and I haven't put those on yet. I'm basically going to try and run the old ones into the ground along with the original body shell that came with it, which is a little bit scuffed, before I use any of the new parts. So yeah, yeah, well, I mean, there we go. That's that, I'd say. Oh, so yeah, oh God, I've got a message here that I need to respond to. So, oops, can't spell. Give me 2 seconds. I just need to respond to this message. Hang on, 2 seconds. Right, sorry about that. Okay, yeah. God, my throat is very croaky today. So yeah, there we go. This is part 2 of my FTX Tracer parts and upgrades video. And the camera might have been a bit close this whole time. So yeah, let's bring that back up a bit. There we go. So yeah, that is everything. Obviously, this is the main part. I was conflicted as to whether or not to make it brushless. I thought, would it be too fast, too uncontrollable? Would it cause things to break? You know, more likely to break. But I thought, well, you know, for 45 quid, for a small brushless motor and speed controller and the servo, which I'm still unsure if it'll fit. On paper, the measurements should fit inside the Tracer, but I honestly don't know. So yeah, and hopefully the motor will fit. I've seen these motors inside Tracers before. It might be the same size as the stock brushless one. I'm not sure. If it is, then it should fit no problem. So, but yeah, so it will be fun. I still need a means of recording my RC car footage. I still would like to get a GoPro, like an older model GoPro that's not too expensive, and obviously a head mount so I can record, especially when I'm on my own. I've got no one to hold a camera. So that is kind of my main next goal. Shush! Can you hear that? People talking. How rude. But yeah, a GoPro is kind of like my next goal. So if anyone wants to help out with that, like a donation here, a tip there, help me get a decent camera that I can use to record running videos with, please do. I also would like to get a hold of the GPS speed meter, but I think a camera should come first, because otherwise I won't be able to record the speed run, because, you know, kind of important. But yeah, if anyone would like to help with a GoPro and so I can get a GoPro and a head strap, please do. That should be my next goal. Even though some of my cars do have upgrades I'd like to do, including my brushless TT02, which hasn't had any upgrades for a while, and I'd like to put some new upgrades into that, along with a few other cars that needs a few other parts. In particular, my Hotshot, which hasn't had any new parts for like the last 7 years. I'd like to do some upgrades to that, because it's been basically just stuck as it is for nearly a decade. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna stop whittling on. Yep, if you like this content, I very rarely say this, but do like and subscribe, and yeah, feel free to help out for the channel if you do or want to. It is not mandatory, obviously. And yeah, any donations or any tips or anything like that are greatly appreciated and will go into this channel. It'll most likely go more into the RC car section of the channel rather than the gaming part, just because this is kind of like more popular for my channel rather than the gaming. Both are obviously hobbies I do, but the RC cars, I think people do like these more than my gaming content. Although people do seem to like more than the gaming and this are my barefoot videos where I walk in the garden or in the rain, that kind of thing. So people do enjoy these more. So yeah, but I haven't made any of those for a wee while since it snowed, because I was kind of uploading them quite a lot. I basically just went outside and recorded whenever I could. And I'm sure people don't always just want to see me upload walking barefoot in the garden videos. So yeah, yeah. Oh, my throat today though. But anyway, I am going to leave it there for now. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to install these and hopefully they all fit. Well, obviously these should fit because they're all made for it, but hopefully things like this will fit. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I shall return with a part 3 hopefully within a year. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.